Happiness is beautiful, it's a kind reality. Happiness is the highest good, happiness is free. So let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy.
Welcome to the Happiness Show. This is George Ortega. I'm here with Claudia Bassett, and we're here to talk about happiness because happiness is, always has been, and always will be the point of it all. Today, we're going to be talking about happiness and dancing. And we've got a very special guest with us. George Braz is a tropical fashion designer. He's also an actor from San Francisco, California. And he's going to talk to us about how we can really enjoy dancing to really become happier. George, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure. Hi, George.
Hi.
It's so good to be back with you guys. And Claudia,
Yes.
it's such a pleasure to be here and
Thank
talking
you.
about this wonderful thing of dancing.
Great. Okay, like actually before we actually get into like how happiness makes us happier, how it can create happiness. Claudia, we were talking about like how you had found out recently, or just kind of like figured out how we came to dance as human beings. 'Cause,
I don't
like,
know. I was guessing.
It's a good guess though.
Yes.
You want to present that?
Is that our first?
That's right.
So I love that. The cell phone's ringing. We should bring it on stage. We're talking about dance. Well, the thing about dancing, I don't think we started just dancing as Homo sapiens. I think that because we were walking from one continent to another, practically in search of food, and
Yeah.
that we would observe the animal kingdom a lot, because basically that was our way of eating, and they have dance rituals all the time.
All the
mating
time,
rituals.
yeah.
So they have this repetitive motion sometimes for mating, and they have this movement that they do that was probably quite lovely to watch for, Homo erectus. Us was sitting here, everybody, I'm going to kill that. But look at how beautiful it's moving before I make it my dinner. And maybe they just got the dance idea from that, so that, and of course early man was origins from Africa, and that's where all the greatest dance movements come from, I think. So I don't know, that's what I was just thinking. Where does dance come from? I don't know that humans invented
I am
dance.
with you, I think, Claudia, because it's like groups and tribes. I mean, they do their rituals, and this definitely makes people happier, and that's from the very beginning. Since we're Homo sapiens. I mean, it's who knows? I mean, I'm sure they were like happier, because we certainly know that dance make us happier and influence our moods and the positive affection, to it.
So it pumps up our hormones and natural
Exactly,
neurochemicals.
because the exercise it does to the body, to the soul, the energy, and you can never, you roughly are sad when you're dancing, It just makes you a wonderful being. It's a dharma, that's what I usually say. It's a dharma, because dance is definitely something that enhances this good mood, this positive affection, the positive effect in us.
Yeah, I was also, because we really want to explore, especially in the beginning, what it is about dancing that creates these positive feelings. And I was thinking that, a lot of times, like especially here in the United States and a lot of like the modern world, we suffer from a lot of stress, a lot of tension. And that
Physical tension.
Absolutely, and then tension is stored in our bodies.
Neck aches, back aches.
And for many of us, we don't
stress.
Absolutely, we don't have jobs, many of us, where we have to like really work out and stretch our bodies. So when we dance, we're like releasing all that tension, and that's got to feel really good.
Yeah, the different styles of dancing too, right? It's like, you go from classical, training in academic dance
like
to
ballet.
To ballet, from ballet to classical to jazz to free forms like the modern ballet,
So George, let's explore that. I mean, for example, you've got ballet, and then you've got jazz, and you've got rock and roll. So how do the different types of dance, with the different types of music, create different types of happiness?
Well, that's amazing how it does. But music, I think, with all the different styles of dancing, I think the music plays a very strong role in it. Don't you think so, Claudia?
Because each cultural dance, or all the dances you just went through, jazz, classical, all has music specific to that
yeah.
Style.
And definitely, I think how the music plays an important role, because for instance, in Brazil, you dance samba.
Yes.
Samba, it's this, very energetic. It moves your body, so it's like it's feeding your body and spirit, and it's giving you in exchange like a lot of energy. So you can move, you can move your legs, and you can move fast, and you can hear the drums, and you can see, how many people, crowds and crowds of people, are so happy doing it, and as an instance,
is that the nature? Is that the dance of Brazil?
It's very diverse there. It's also, if you go northeast, you have all the regional dancing, and then you have axé. Axé is a very fast-pacing dance too, but very happy, very warm. It's cozy.
Cool.
It's again because of the rhythm.
Right. So it's music specific. Is that?
I think yeah, because there are studies that document that different kinds of music can certainly get us into different moods.
Yeah.
They've even done this with plants. Like they'll play classical music to a plant, and it'll grow better than if they play like heavy metal or something. So I guess the music sets the stage, and then I think the movement.
Actually, my plants like heavy. Hard rock.
Like some Zeppelin, huh?
I think you might like a little samba and some jazz, of course. And I think it's all good. It's really dance. It's amazing. I think people realize, when you are, even if you don't plan. If you plan a night out, fine. If you don't plan a night out, what do you guys think about dancing Home Alone?
I love dancing Home Alone. I dance Home Alone all the time. My good friend Bob on the West Coast, San Francisco, where you live, dances all the time. In the morning, he starts his day before he goes to work out. He's a serious athlete.
Exercise, definitely.
It's great. It gets you charged. It feels good. It's freeing.
I agree with you. I think it's wonderful. It's all good. And no matter if you're alone, if you're in a group, and dance also, helps you socialize. If you're out, in a club, or if you're out in a friend's house, and you start dancing, you see how much people around you, how is a great way of socializing, with people, and that's definitely a good way for us to be happier, happier person, happier individuals, and definitely I think we need to make more an habit of dancing. This word would be a better word if people dance more.
So that's a great idea, because then you would have sort of a routine during the day, and you would have your breakfast, or maybe you go on your little shopping for your house, for your food, for your house, and then you have your dance time.
Yeah,
because it's important.
It is important.
It puts
it's
people
like
in touch
food.
with being happy.
Yeah, totally. And a dance it's all around us. It's all around. It's everywhere. It's no matter if you're doing jazz, or if you're doing classical, or if you just want to train some different steps. Just a different step of dance.
George, I've got a good question for you. We kind of, I think we all recognize like how powerful dancing is to our happiness. How well it can create happiness. In my personal life, I remember, especially in my 20s, going to clubs. Dancing was I probably have felt the happiest feelings, among the happiest feelings, while dancing, right? It's such a powerful tool. It's such a powerful thing to do. The question is, why don't we dance as much as we could? And then how can we get ourselves to kind of relive that vitality?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of us to create that moment, to be more open to it, to find the time, to do it like a leisure time for dancing. It's really easy, once you determine that you want to do it. It's creating an habit again. Let's go back to the habit. And I think, like you said, and I totally agree with you, it's definitely enhance our moods, and it's our positive moods, right? And you have music, and then you're moving your body freely. You don't necessarily need to do any, major, move.
Yeah, what about people who really don't feel, that they are comfortable moving a certain way? Or they don't like
Claudia, that's a
that
good point. I'll
dance?
tell you why. No, because like what happened, I remember with disco and all, and especially more so now, dancing became very sexual. Because dancing can be
Yeah, that's a good
aggressive, it can be delicate, and it can be sexual. And I think there's, perhaps for good reason, with all STDs and stuff going around, that there was a backlash in society against that kind of expression. So, I mean, the idea is that, like, when I was growing up, dancing was very sexual. It has become perhaps more so to a certain extent now, but it doesn't have to be that way. And that might be part of the reason, why people feel uncomfortable with it.
Well, look at the dancing from my parents' dancing age. They're doing a split and then throwing somebody through your legs and then holding them there. I mean, that was just fun. That was athletic. It was fun. It was, a blast. They were always smiling and doing the...
the twisters.
Oh, my God. And
and
it wasn't moving, the gyration, dirty dancing, moving your hips, rubbing your pelvis on people's behinds.
Yeah.
And, and it's interesting because I was at a party last summer and I was hanging out next to my parents and... my mom just leans over to me. She goes, "It's like looks more like sex with clothes on than dancing." And I'm like, it is, Mom.
It is, and there is nothing wrong with it. It's freely. Dance. It's your mood, and it's whatever you feel like you're doing. You're not aggravating anybody. You're just expressing yourself.
So
it's
maybe
like an
people
art.
feel more sexual now
Maybe
that there are so many
do.
restrictions on sexuality.
Yeah, like,
that
there are a lot
want to
of,
be more sexual through dance because they
Well-
can't run around, having sex like they did in the '60s.
I think it is very positive in that sense because many people are like, for example, have difficulties with sex, and dancing in that way frees them up so they can, be more complete sexual beings. But again, for like, in terms of like maybe why we don't dance more is that you have a lot of
That
people that are
connotation.
afraid of that sexuality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
That's a
important.
good
I
point.
think
I
it's
never
a
thought
good
of it.
point, and I think it's important to say that the main focus is dance. It's not that people are, people these days we live in a very liberal, world. It was different when I was a kid. It was the connection there was different a little bit. But over these days, nowadays, it's more, it's freely, and people just want to express. And again, the important thing is to dance. It's about your body. It's about it, and definitely people are more into their sexuality, so they don't have a problem with that, which is really good. It's people are healthier these days, I think, and you want to be happier. So let's dance. Remember that?
Remember
I
the
think
David
it was
Bowie
in the
album?
70s.
Let's Dance.
Let's
Absolutely.
dance. Let's
Now, he went
dance.
from being like a rock god,
Right.
to getting into dance. Even Eric Clapton put out an album that was R&B.
Yeah.
Which was much more leaning toward, and it was called Pilgrim. And a lot of people were like, I don't dig it. It wasn't his regular Crossroads kind of, a Stratocaster guitar like with an
Yeah.
edge sound. It was more like a groovy, and he had some nice soul backup singers, and it was really it's beautiful music because
Yeah,
it makes you
definitely.
move and dance, and it typically
Yeah.
wasn't associated with that.
The movement of bodies, the
Yeah.
great association with your body, it's definitely something, endorphins or some chemicals released in your brain, that makes you such a great being and so happy to be doing that probably. And it's so amazing what dance can really enhance our ability to be happy and give us satisfaction. I think this is one of the most important things, it's like satisfaction.
So you need music for dance. It's the
Yeah,
two.
right,
I mean,
'cause-
I'm supposing you can move in a way that feels good and express yourself, through movement.
Right.
But to a waterfall in the background on the edge of a cliff somewhere, and it would be still feel good. But I think when we hear music is when people really get in touch with moving their bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because music like creates that positivity, because even music alone without the dancing enhances our mood. With the dancing, it just makes it makes the pleasure and the happiness more physical. You know, we really feel it in our entire bodies.
Yeah, I'm
The
thinking
rhythm.
about it. I'm thinking about how do I start dancing when I hear something, you know, it's that something rhythmic catches me.
Definitely, I agree.
Or I'll even walk around the house, like, you know, in rhythm. And look, you were talking about the sexuality thing. You
Yeah.
ever watch Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen
Her show?
yeah.
Ellen, she dances
She
in
is
a very
amazing.
non-sexual way.
Yeah.
She dances and just like, you know, let's have fun. It's kind of like crazy and relax and smile. And that's what her dancing is all about. It's about connecting with the audience. And they all do the same thing. They kind of dance this kind of dance. It's not like, you know, it's not like sexual at all. It's not that kind of movement. It's much more...
It's much more fun. It's much
Yeah,
more
it's fun.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's just about being fun, you know, being expressive, and just being out there, you know, doing that just as an habit, you know, and it's about ourselves, and it's all good. Like I have to go back to the mood,
Yes.
you know. Our
Change-
moods are
change
better.
the mood.
For myself, for instance, I love to do sometimes, you know, I love to do the flamenco dance.
Yes, flamenco.
And I imagine myself, you know, in that drama. And I put myself into the drama of flamenco, you know, like the paso doble. It's very, it's so unique, that dance, you know. It's so, it transports me.
Now, do you find that you'll wear something that a flamenco dancer would
Sometimes
wear
I
that
do.
helps too?
Yeah, the color, you know, again, let's go back to color, you know, just, you know, I put on some red, dramatic, you know, and it definitely gives me that pace, you know, that pace of transporting me to that flamenco, to that era, you know, and it's so wonderful. I really wish you people and everyone like a great time dancing. Dance home alone. Dance, plan a night out, or with
Dance with
friends.
your dog.
Dance in a jog, in a gym, you know. Just
Sure.
dance, just move
Absolutely.
your body. You know, it's food for your soul and for your body.
Cool.
It's really good.
You were talking about mood, and I was reading something about the two levels of happiness. One is the mood, which is periodical, so that shifts a lot, and then the other is just like a prevailing feeling of happiness that you have every day. You're pretty much happy. Sometimes it's really obvious, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
But that puts you in touch with your happiness, I guess, that movement, expressing yourself, dancing, wearing something that helps you feel connected to the dance you're doing,
Yeah.
listening to the music that helps you feel connected to the way you want to move, all affects your mood.
Yeah, definitely. I totally think so, Claudia. And of course, you know, my background in theater, you know, we always
Yes,
had
talk
this.
about that.
You know, we always had this expression classes. You know, would call like the very we say corporal expression.
Corporal.
You know, it's more like your body expression.
Okay.
So
it's all physical.
It's like all physical. It's like you are imitating feelings, expressing your movements, your body movements.
Without words.
You know, in feelings, emotional. You know, so then you can do that in theater. So because you're doing different personas, you know, different
Sure.
things. And at that time, I used to do jazz dance. And again, the jazz dance has to do with the blue notes. And
Yes,
again,
the
it's
blue
the
notes.
rhythms.
All right,
you know.
guys here, like for the industrialized world, for people like us, I mean, we should absolutely dance more, right? But there's
Absolutely.
there's
Yeah.
about, you know, 1 billion people on the planet who hardly get enough food to eat, you know, enough calories each day to sustain their basic energy requirements.
They don't feel like dancing much.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and so like, we're going to segue into this. You know, basically we've been promoting this idea, you know, called profit donation capitalism, that will help us to help feed those people at a way that won't cost us anything as individuals. So let me just briefly explain it to the audience.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
do that.
Definitely.
Basically, the idea is like, you know, you have Paul Newman's Newman's company called Newman's Own. They market over 40 products: salad dressing, tomato sauce, popcorn, ice cream, and all. All of the profits go to charitable causes and educational purposes, all right? So basically the idea behind profit donation capitalism is that there should be thousands of companies just like that that aren't in business to make money, they're in business to help people. So basically, I think the people who need most help on the planet are the people who really need enough food to eat and enough money. So what do you guys think about that?
That's outstanding, and we have to make sure it happens. It's good to talk about it, but
it is good. It is definitely good because it also, for the people out there, for the companies that are donating, I just have to say one thing, the donation makes you feel happier. Why is that? Because you are helping other people, and when you are helping people, you definitely are a better person because you are giving from yourself, so it's like a reward, right, Claudia?
absolutely, it makes you feel good to give.
It feels good to give, and it's definitely for a good cause, and I'm all for it. And I would just tell people to just donate,
Yeah,
be part of it.
Also, the great thing about this is like a lot of people don't have a lot of money. There are a lot of poor people, a lot of middle-class people that are in debt and all, and
They can't afford to write a check or donate to a charity. They can give time,
exactly.
but they can also shop
That's
for their
the thing.
food.
They have to buy, the basic groceries. They have to buy these products anyhow. And rather than each of their purchases making like companies that I think are way too rich, in any event, because many companies are way too rich. They have too much political power and all. That just by buying these products that they have to buy anyhow, it allows shoppers, it allows people to give in a way that doesn't cost them anything, in a way that they can do on a routine basis.
And just knowing that, it feels so good. People will look at shopping differently. They'll say, I'm going to go and donate right now because I have to go buy bread and milk and eggs, and I'm going to donate.
I see other people doing that too because I'm part of it.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy I'm making part of this shopping that I'm doing for myself for other people as well. People that don't have the means to do it, the things that you are doing. And it's so rewarding. Like we were talking before, right, Gloria, about this rewarding thing. And it's definitely, I think, an amazing thing to do. And you out there should do it.
Yeah, one of the reasons, especially for poverty, for again, we're very lucky, in the United States, and we just have so much more than we need.
Oh, yeah.
And the good thing about profit donation capitalism is it takes the responsibility from helping those in the world that need help. It takes it from the government, because our government we don't, as an example, our GDP is like how much our country earns each year from selling products and services.
Yeah.
In terms of what we give to countries, foreign aid, to help feed them, we give about 0.1% of our gross domestic product, through our governments, and our governments are very unwilling to raise that. So with this idea of allowing people to go into supermarkets, buy products, and the profits feed them people, it's like the people of these countries are taking that power away from governments, and we're doing it ourselves. We don't need governments to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. It's so good. It's so for good reason, and it's a good karma.
Good karma.
A good karma, and I would even think it's a dharma.
It's a dharma. What's the difference between karma and dharma?
I think dharma is also related in a sense that when you paid your dues, you deserve this reward, and the reward is the dharma. Karma is that when you are paying for the dues.
Yes.
Yes. It's I think
kind of like what goes around comes around. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes around comes around, George.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we've got about 4 minutes left, so let's get back to the dance. How do you think our kind of incorporating dance more into our lives can help create a happier world, and how can we incorporate dance into our lives, into society more, into the things that we do more?
Yeah, good question.
Well, good question. Yeah, I think, definitely if we incorporate dance in our lives, it can make a better world. Why is that? Because you have satisfaction, because you're doing something so fun, something so joyful, so rewarding. It's about your happiness. It's about exercising your body, your spirit, and it's contagious. You know, it's a good contagious thing.
And
you
it
know.
frees your
It's one
mind
that
as
frees
well.
your mind.
So it connects the body and the mind in a way that you really
Exactly,
want
Gloria.
to.
And I totally think that we are going to have a better world, because if people think, you know, I feel a little blue, you know, so feel a little blue, you feeling a little blue, okay, let's do a jazz dance, you know, let's use this blue into blue notes. And let's exercise our bodies, you know, and in that sense, you are giving food for thought.
Food
Right?
for thought.
And I think so, George. You can incorporate in that
Right.
sense.
And Claudia, how do you
know.
think we can incorporate like dance more into like exercise? Because you know you've taught exercise and all. You're familiar with that. How are they doing that now, and how can we do that perhaps more so?
Well, I mean, I think people just join formal dance places and go to their clubs and take a little dance class or a step class. And I think people have to value it. I don't know that people value that dancing is going to bring them any joy. I don't think you value getting joy through something like that. It may seem ludicrous to someone.
That's interesting.
You know?
That's an
that's a
amazing
good point.
thing,
That's a good
George.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creating value, you know. It's a value,
And you know, a long time ago, they had shows like the Ed Sullivan Show and Lawrence Welk, whatever, which wasn't, you know, wasn't the kind
Lawrence
of
Welk.
dancing that most
The
people
bubbles?
relate to. Yeah, but the thing is, like on TV, you know, in the evenings, you would see people dancing. Whereas, like sometimes you see that now, but like in the major networks, there's very little of that, so people aren't perhaps exposed to that as much as they can.
Yeah, perhaps as much as they can, you're right. But they just have to make that time happen.
Yeah, people aren't exposed to it. That's probably true. We don't see it frequently. We listen
I
to
dance
it
a
on the
lot.
radio. I dance a lot. You know, and we think, we listen to music, and we might tap our feet. People may do that, but I don't think people, you know, realize the value of it. You know, they don't realize how good it feels until they start trying. And you always see people dancing. They feel great. You can tell they feel great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they feel great. You
They
can
should,
tell.
you know, they should make the kids dance. Like after like 2 hours of classes,
They
they
should
should.
be
All right,
dancing.
5 minutes of dance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Gym should be much more around dancing. Phys ed should
I'm
be
all for it.
more about dancing.
Yeah.
Okay, George, thank you so much. This has been great. And
Thank you. It was incredible,
Great.
George. It's always good to come back for you guys. It's amazing. Thank you,
Good
Gloria.
to have you on. It's great meeting you.
It was very good to meet you.
Okay, well, thanks. That's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. In the future, we'll explore other topics designed to help us better enjoy life. Be good, think well, feel very happy, and I hope you join us next time here on The Happiness Show.
Bye.
Happiness is powerful, it's our underlying need. Happiness is why we live each day. Happiness is destiny, so let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy.